Alright, this is my supporting cast. Alright. For the last couple of months, you have turned on your TV hearing about taxes that are connected to the official cliff that politicians are talking about. These taxes may or may not affect you. One among all the different taxes is known as the estate tax, also known as the death tax. After some timely researches, I have come to the conclusion that the liability of not having an estate tax at its current rate will hurt our economy as well as individuals whom this tax may affect. The estate tax is far more important to individuals who fall under the tax. Estate also includes the value of primary homes, private businesses, in some cases life insurance policies. With the rise of a tax, it could affect up to an eighth of all U.S. households. Passing legislation on the estate tax is vital in some American households. I will be talking about the pros and the cons of the tax. Also provide statistics to back up concepts on this tax. We know that everybody has their time to die, but the richest 2 in 1,000 estates doesn't pay any estate tax. The estate tax is the best characterized as a tax on a very large inheritance by small groups of wealthy heirs. The estate of fewer than 2 out of every 1,000 people who die don't owe any estate tax whatsoever, because the first 5.2 million of the value of the estate, effectively the first 10.24 million of an estate for married couples, they are exempt from this tax. The idea that the government forces the individual to turn over half of their assets is not true. The states that are forced to pay tax generally ends up paying less than 1/6 of the value of the estate tax. The government is in talks now about extending the temporary estate tax cuts enacted in 2010 rather than restoring the 2009 rule, which would add billions to our deficit. Extending the current rules, which are exemption levels of $5 million per person, a top rate of 35%, will decrease the deficit by $20 million. Over a 10-year span, as it compares to the 2009 rule that has exemption levels of $3.5 million per person within a 10-year income to the national debt. The cost of going along with the tax nearly equals the amount of revenue that taxes raises. These taxes are relatively modest and are consistent with the cost of complying with other taxes. According to the IRS, studies have found that all various public and private costs associated with the estate tax, along with the cost to administrating the tax and the cost of taxpayers bears in terms of estate planning and administrating an estate when a person dies equal about 7% of the estate tax revenue. These costs are consistent with the compliance costs for taxes. The number of the individuals and the estates that bears the cost has fallen markedly as the state tax exemption level has risen since 2001. Part of the confusion around the cost of the estate tax is that people add costs of hiring estate executors and trustees, drafting provisions and documents, and allocating bequests among family members accounts for about half of all costs sometimes associated with the estate planning. Having the estate tax does benefit the national debt. Only a handful of small family and farms and businesses owners ever see any estate taxes at all. By not continuing this tax rate at which it stands, not only wouldn't it be significantly apart, wouldn't substantially affect private savings and would greatly increase the deficit. Fellow fellow students, I leave you with this today. The death tax is not going away, and it's imposed sales tax that will be here. Whether you agree or disagree, I for one agree with the death tax at its current rate and the lower tax rate. If it's going to increase the country's debt, it will be financially irresponsible to make such a change.